As you know, Summit Tiling, I've been doing it for about 5 years, but for myself, but I've been doing it longer than that before. I spent a lot of time and money training in tiling, and I knew from the outset what I didn't want to be, and that was someone who could just turn up, do a rough job and then leave. So what I was looking at here is, how do people, you know, a customer, how do they think a tiler is? And I think a lot of it is, why do I need a tiler? Why can't I just use a handyman? You know, one reason that you might want to use a handyman is that, yeah, it's cheaper, or is it really? But people think it probably is. It's convenient, and the one that I really do understand is you're only paying one bill, you're paying one tradesman. If you've got someone who's doing your kitchen or your bathroom, they might do the plastering, they might do the carpentry, they might also do the tiling. I understand that that's, you know, a nice thing to have. I think one of the problems is that you do get a lot of people who just balls it up, basically. So I'm not going to go through this. You can read what's up there, but you know, you're all professionals in your own trades and your own professions, so you know what it is that you offer, and I'll just leave that at that, really. What I really wanted to spend my time talking about today is, if you're using me, you're getting a professional tiling job. I'll come in from the start, tell you what needs doing, look at any problems you might have and all your preparation, and do the best that I can do. The other thing I will also do is, if there are any problems, I will come back and fix it. This is an example of about a year ago, 2 years ago, I was recommended by a client to another person who wanted a slate floor put in their kitchen. Now, they didn't contact me initially because they assumed I was going to be too expensive, being a so-called professional tiler. So they had a guy, a bloke from the pub, who was fitting their kitchen, who also said, I can do some tiling for you. He did their wall tiling, he did their floor tiling. And then I got a phone call about 6 weeks, 2 months later, saying, can you please come and rip it all out and put a new one in? So I'm just going to pause for 1 second, because I may be a good tiler, but I don't know how to use PowerPoint. So I couldn't work out how to put this video in, so I'm just going to play this for you. Bear in mind that this is what I found when the first visit to the customer's house. Please work. Can you see that? I walked into this. This is a slate floor. It'd been in, I think, 6 weeks. You could see there's masses of problems here. These are the heating pipes going into the floor. There was grout all over. It's not been cleaned up. It's not been sealed with slate. You have to seal it before fitting and after. This is the bit I absolutely couldn't believe. Cracked tiles, just lifted off. He'd had some problems in there. The thing, I mean, apart from the fact that there's cracked tiles, you know, if they're loose, I just can't believe that someone would walk out of that job and think, brilliant, you know, I've done a great job here, the customer would be happy with that. It's not clean, there's grout everywhere. You see all in here, this is all grout, not been cleaned off. There, with slate, you do get some natural lipping. Not a lot, but that lipping is where one tile sits higher than the other. In here, I had lipping of over 12 millimeters. So it's a trip hazard as well. It's just an absolute terrible job. Now, they said to me that the guy obviously didn't know how to do slate because the wall tiling was fine. I looked at the wall tiling and didn't have the heart to tell him that that was crap as well. Incidentally, here, the guy, this was a bloke from the pub who did it, and he, the customer was just intimidated, and they paid pretty much full whack for this job. And his excuse was he should have bought better tiles. shocking, really. So, if I can get back into this. This is some of the work that I had to do to put it back. It took me over a week to chip all the floor out. It was an extension, so it was part timber floor, part concrete floor. The problems up here, without getting technical and boring, it used, Andy will know about this, he used 6mm ply on a vinyl timber floor just stapled in with a staple gun. And it should be minimum of 12mm and screwed in, or use a completely different thing. So everything was moving. When I pulled out the washing machine, this is what I found. There was a tile missing and none of it had been cleaned up, and that stuff you just cannot get off. That's the finished product.
Oh.
It's also, because the guy had to buy all new tiles, so he bought all his tiles, paid the guy to fit them in, to throw them all away, pay me to take them out, buy new tiles and pay me to put them back in. So he probably spent about 3-4 grand on a floor that was about £900 in total. That's the other picture. I'm probably whizzing through this, I've no idea how long I've been talking. Is it really? Yeah. 2 minutes left? Jesus. Right, let's go quick. The other thing I often talk about is the mosaic stuff. It's one thing that I offer that not many tilers in this area do. I work in conjunction with a mosaic studio. This is just a few examples. This is the guy I work with, Health and Safety First. You can see him leading of Westleigh schools there. This is an install we did last year, quite a large one. This is a swimming pool that we did down in Brighton. I'll show you some pictures of that. There's a very expensive indoor swimming pool. It was all mosaics in Chinese glass with murals in the inside, which I'll show in a second. That's a picture of me in, I think it's the Waltham Gazette. They caught me very flattering with my builder's bum sticking out, and they mistaken me for Paul Siggins and called me a leading mosaic artist. So I'm having that as well, somebody else's phone again. These are a couple of the murals that we put in the swimming pool. Now, you can't get an idea of size, you might want to look at these closer later, but this turtle was about that big, and the ray is probably about 5-6 feet wide as well. There was 18 of these different, we had koi and all sorts of sea creatures in this swimming pool. Created by the mosaic team, they sort all that out, and then I have to turn up and install it, and it's quite a painstaking process. Also, if you imagine the time and effort and the money involved in creating one of those, it's quite, you know, I can't mess it up. It's a one-shot deal when you're installing those things. Another example of slightly different stuff we've done, this is in Waltham Abbey, this is in their high street. We did about 18 of these there, and that's a font at some Catholic school, I can't remember where it is. I know Dermot O'Leary opened it officially though. Referrals is always a really difficult one for me. I know a lot of people say the same thing. It's hard to be specific in what I do, because everybody's got a bathroom or a kitchen that may need tiling. So, but I'm better at more bespoke, high-end stuff, because I'm not necessarily the quickest tiler, because I really take my time. I'd rather spend 2 days and really finish with a product that you're proud of and that I can walk away. I've done jobs where I've walked away, think that's good, and I've had something playing on my mind. The customer has been totally happy. I've gone back and said, actually, there's a bit in there I want to solve. Ripped it out, put it back in again. They didn't even notice, but I was worried that that's how it would be. So, yeah, anyone that wants some tiling doing. That is it, really. So, any questions? The only other thing I'll just do is these are some examples of just some of the stuff I discovered yesterday when I learnt PowerPoint. I really don't have many photos of my work, especially stuff I've done in the last year or so. So this is just some stuff, that's one I repaired. So that's it. Any questions? That went really quick. Yeah.
Just a question from Wade. Did you get the slate in this Dermot O'Leary when I that package?
No. I'll give you a Dermot hug though if you want. Yeah.
Any questions from the
designed it? How do you? Is it like
How's-
painting by numbers sort of thing?
No, it's created. It's quite a complex process really, but it's built on, because I had to learn how to do it to install it. It's built on paper, so they just use like parcel paper. It's, the artwork is drawn out on the paper, and then it's created in reverse. So it's away, and then they'll end up, if it's a 10-metre mosaic, it's 10 metres on the floor. We cut it into pieces, and then when I take it there and install it, we kind of build it like a big jigsaw. But of course it's in reverse, and you've got the brown paper. So once it's stuck on, then we take the paper off, move it around where it needs to be, grout it up, and job done. Hey.
So do you price it up per job, or amount of days, or how do you sort of price it?
Pricing is really difficult, but I get a lot of people. I get a lot of just emails saying 20 metres of floor, 4 metres of wall in a new build. How much? I usually ignore those emails or ring them up and say I need to come and have a look, because if you can imagine, you know, someone might say, oh, I'm going to charge £35 a metre. Well, if £35 a metre on a floor this size with no cuts, yeah, that's fine. But you could also spend. I'm doing a job for Tony Crowley's mate in Whittam at the moment. I spent last 2 days doing all recesses in a window, and downlighters all had to be cut in, lots of pipe boxing. I've done just under 2 metres, 2 square metres in 2 days. So you can't charge £30 a metre for that, can you? So you have to literally go in, try and work out how much it's going to cost, what your material is going to be, and go from there.
It's a question, so I've got a comment. Well, I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody here, but in my opinion, I can't believe the diversity of the work you do. You just think the tiler, you've just shown in 10 minutes such a range of work the tiler does, but people can't do that on themselves. I mean, it's something everybody's like, it's an art form.
Thank you.
Just a quick testimonial. Tony did the tiling in my flat a few years ago, and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm more of like a low-end person. I don't really splash the cash, but I still thought it was good value for money, and the quality was so much better than the shameful tile I think.
Any other questions? Or Tony finishes? Good? Well, of course, thank you, Tony.